Right now we are one, Pakistani.
If there's no cause of action, if there's no grievance, unity is there.
Media should promote more of a united Pakistan wala image.
I'm a Punjabi because I'm a Pakistani also.
First of all, people need to take a stand. They need to realize what's going on in this country, where is this country heading.
Welcome back from the break, everyone. Well, we've looked at provincialism at a micro level and a macro level. Now let's analyze and see whether democracy is a solution to this problem.
Yes, I think that's a very good solution. Now let me go back to provincialism a little bit. Now, what the representation in the National Assembly has been dependent on population, right?
Okay.
Punjab has the biggest population, 62% are represented. Balochistan has a very small population, very small number are represented. But then, because this is a federation, and this is a federation of 4 provinces, we formed the Senate. Now, in Senate, there is equal representation, right? So, that's one way of trying to bring all these provinces together and balancing them. Now, why democracy is the best solution to all your issues? Because at least you have a voice. But what happens in Pakistan is, because of different reasons, because of the judiciary not going to the grassroots, because of feudalism, because of people being illiterate, because of lack of education, people are not able to elect their legislators in a way which they should be able to give them their rights back. What happens is, people elect a legislator on the basis of the fact that this guy is going to solve the problems with the police, this guy is going to protect me, and because this guy has clout, I will be beaten up or whatever, and therefore I have to vote for this person. So democracy in its pure form has not been in Pakistan. It has not been in India also. Let me tell you. You see, it has not been in United States also.
It is
related to the amount of money people can spend, etc., etc. And it is related to something which is unique to your medium, which is brand identification. You see, the beauty of the person. John F. Kennedy looks so smart. People voted for him because of that. So democracy will always have the flaws of humanity within it. What could be an ideal democracy? Ideal democracy means for us,
our brand of democracy. Remember, we want to band the provinces together, and we want a whole.
There is a person, or there is a group, or there is an institution which feels that this is not going to work. So therefore, let us interfere, and that's where dictators come from. And how did the dictator come out? Some dictators came from the people, and they were very good in speaking, and they were very good in inciting passion.
Charismatic,
and they were very good. There are 2 things for such kind of people. There is hate mongering. You have to create an enemy, and you unite the people. So what Hitler did, for example, he was a good orator. Even on YouTube, if you go today, you will hear the speeches, and they were fantastic speeches on bringing the douche people, German people together. So dictators, but usually dictators flow through the barrel of the gun. There's one person who dictates, he cannot have the sensibilities and understand the sensitivities of the people around in the whole country. The bigger the country, the more devolution you need to have. Just a good example of the current issue. This local government, presently, the government feels that you can't have elections, therefore they are going to appoint administrators. Now imagine the work that was done in Karachi by 10,000 elected people from the basics will be done by one administrator. What makes dictatorship nasty is the fact that if you talk against a dictatorship, they react, and sometimes they react very brutally. And then there is so much hatred between provinces, and there is so much hatred between people, that even democracy now trying to find roots in Pakistan will have a very difficult time.
Democracy where your SMSs are banned.
That's what's going to happen to Pakistan also. Now the ideal democracy would be, for example, there is an issue today. They could take an electronic referendum of the people of Pakistan, and it could happen like that, and we could give input on everything. But that ideal democracy will never happen. The other thing, which there's a human issue in democracy. There are people, there's a statistical distribution of people's liking for political issues and social issues. So if you have an election in Dawn News, for example, on an issue or referendum, there will be majority of the people, 66% of the people will have some interest. That on one spectrum there will be people with no interest, and then on one spectrum there will be people with extreme interest. So what did you do with the people with no interest? Those are the people who do not even vote.
That's it.
That's it. So when in a democracy, what you try to do is get maximum participation of people. When people lose hope, they stop voting also. So there is still a lot of confusion in devolution. Now, when you talked about provincials, we did not talk about the fact of the local tier of local government. So what the provinces should give more rights to the local bodies. It's similar. You see, Punjab, Sindh, for example, Sindh is bigger than maybe 80 countries of the world.
I would like to have democracy because I have a voice. However small, I have a voice. I have a voice, okay? So in principle, yes, I agree with you. But in a democratic setup, how could we best benefit the women and children of our country and the destitute and the underprivileged of the country? Even if you change the system, it's not going to change overnight. It will need special addressing. It will need to be targeted. It's not going to instantly change because you suddenly change.
Now, for these issues, I think affirmative action is necessary. You know, affirmative action is a word which comes out from United States, for example, started because the majority believed that the blacks have not been assimilated in society well. So what they did, affirmative action made sure that every institution has this percentage of blacks in it. Every college or admissions process would have these
we have a quota
blacks
system.
in that. We have a quota system, but it is misused. Now, the democracy alone doesn't work. Now, what happens is the other pillar of the society, which is the judiciary. Now, what happens in a democracy? If the democracy is the rule of a majority, where it exploits the minority or ignores the minority, or is corrupted, or some members of this democratic institution are corrupted, or some members are brutal, or some members people don't like. So, you have a judiciary where you challenge such thing which is happening. You have a judiciary, you have an investigative agency, whether it's an accountability bureau or NAB or anybody, who look at the fact that this person is compromising the state by making compromises related to his income or his corruption. So the judiciary balances that. So we are lucky in Pakistan today. Civil right. The third institution looks at miscarriages of justice. What happened in Goja is something which isolates people. It threatens our whole Christian community and the Hindu community, where you can somebody and without proof people can incite people to go out and kill. That's strange. You see, an incident happened of Rajesh Kumar in Karachi, where this Hindu was accused of blasphemy, and before anything could happen, maybe 1200 workers hit him and watched that happen. Now what should be done is that the courts, like in Godra, the courts should come into action immediately.
Instantly.
And sometimes these laws are vague. For example, the blasphemy law is, if you read the law, it says that any action which insinuates this, any action which gives somebody the feeling, it's so vague, it should be specified. If the law has to be there, it has to be specified. And the miscarriages of such a law, it should be prevented by the police and by the judiciary. Exemplary punishment should be given to make sure that this doesn't happen. If people can run away from this, if those who instigated this or those who did this can go scot-free, they come back with bigger venom. They can destroy societies really if such people are not controlled. It happened to the Christians, but it can happen to an Urdu-speaking group or a Punjabi-speaking group or a Baloch-speaking small group somewhere.
But Pakistan needs to move forward. We have to get ahead of this. We become new. We can't find the lost Pakistaniat. We can't look at values which existed in the 60s and 70s. We actually have to find a whole new value system for ourselves today.
The economic wheel has to turn. The fact that we have an elitist culture.
Economics, okay, next.
The fact that we have an elitist culture, which you belong to and I belong to, where our taxation system is related to that elite culture, where a budget comes in which exempts me 50,000 rupees per car and I can buy cars, and which taxes the poor people more. That is creating a big diarchy, and that's creating a huge disparity between the poor and the rich.
It's getting worse.
And unless the economic wheels turn, even in capitalism, for the crumbs to fall off the table, I still welcome that. But there's no social net in Pakistan. There's no stake of people in Pakistan. You and I feel bitter about what's happening in Pakistan, but unless you give people stake, unless you involve people, unless the economy improves, unless India, as far as the economy is concerned, and we've seen that only in the last 10-15 years. Pakistan had a better economy than India until 1990 at least. But today India has gone with leaps and bounds. We have the potential, but we are left uneducated. We are left in misery by our governance.
By this elite
the educated
group?
class.
And this elite educated class, who are they? What are they? Can you define
They're
them?
exploiting. You know what?
They're exploiters.
They're exploiters.
That's how you define them. I'm pinning you down.
Yes.
I'm so sorry. I have to interrupt. We have to go to break. Ladies and gentlemen, after the break, we'll be looking a little bit more at those people who exploit our country.